Flights to and from Marseille were suspended Tuesday and traffic at the city's main train station was disrupted due to a wildfire threatening the southern French port city, local authorities said. According to Associated Press, the prefecture urged people in the affected areas to stay indoors and off the roads. With the fire approaching Marseille, the prefecture also advised residents in the north of the city to keep windows closed to prevent toxic smoke from entering their homes. Footage showed light smoke giving the sky over Marseille's old port a dusty aspect as water-dropping planes tried to extinguish the fire in the outskirts of the city, which has some 900,000 inhabitants. More than 700 firefighters were deployed to tackle the fire, which broke out near the town of Les Pennes-Mirabeau, with 350 hectares hit. There have been no reports of casualties. Marseille Airport announced that the runway had been closed at around midday. Sections of two major motorways also were closed to traffic. Several weeks of heat waves combined with strong winds have increased the risk of wildfires in southern France, with several breaking out over the past couple of days.
Regardez là, c'est Castellan. Regardez là, Castellan. C'est toujours pareil. Parce qu'il y a trop de vent, c'est compliqué. Regardez là. Commence là-bas aussi. Ça commence là-bas aussi derrière. Mais déjà, toujours là. Ça commence là aussi.
C'est dégueulasse ces vidéos à cause du vent.
Yemen's Houthi rebels are clearly back at it, a conflict analyst said on Tuesday after an attack on a Liberian-flagged cargo ship in the Red Sea. According to Associated Press, the attack killed 3 mariners and wounded 2 others, according to a European Union naval force. "We haven't seen any real attacks on merchant shipping since December last year," said Wolf Christian Pays, a senior fellow at the International Institute for Strategic Studies. "And they're back with a bang." The attack on the Greek-owned Eternity Sea follows the Iranian-backed Houthis attacking another vessel on Sunday in the Red Sea that they said subsequently sank. The assaults are the first Houthi attacks on shipping since late 2024 on the waterway that had begun to see more ships pass through in recent weeks. The attack highlights the danger of the group's renewed campaign targeting a key maritime route for international trade. The bulk carrier had been heading north toward the Suez Canal when it came under fire by men in small boats and by bomb-carrying drones Monday night. While the Houthis haven't claimed the attack, they can take days to claim one. Yemen's exiled government and the EU force blamed the rebels, as did the US Embassy in Yemen. The 2 attacks, and a round of Israeli airstrikes early Monday targeting the rebels, raised fears of a renewed Houthi campaign against shipping that could again draw in US and Western forces, particularly after US President Donald Trump's administration targeted the rebels in a major airstrike campaign. The attacks come at a sensitive moment in the Middle East, as a possible ceasefire in the Israel-Hamas war hangs in the balance, and as Iran weighs whether to restart negotiations over its nuclear program following US airstrikes targeting its most sensitive atomic sites during the Israel-Iran war in June. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu was in Washington meeting Trump as Gaza ceasefire discussions continue. The Houthis apparently targeted the 2 vessels over their companies running routes to Israel. "If I were to venture, I guess it has to do with Netanyahu being in Washington and with the fact that, of course, Iran and its network of allies has been taking a bit of a beating in the last couple of months," Pays said. The Houthis have been launching missile and drone attacks against commercial and military ships in the region in what the group's leadership has described as an effort to end Israel's offensive against Hamas in the Gaza Strip. Between November 2023 and January 2025, the Houthis targeted more than 100 merchant vessels with missiles and drones, sinking 2 and killing 4 sailors. Their campaign has greatly reduced the flow of trade through the Red Sea corridor, which typically sees $1 trillion of goods move through it annually.
Yes, the Houthis are clearly back as a maritime threat actor, right? They never stopped attacking Israel, so despite all this talk about a ceasefire with the US, the attacks on Israel continued. But indeed, we haven't seen any real attacks on merchant shipping since December last year, and they're back with a bang, right? Yes, if I were to venture a guess, it has to do with Netanyahu being in Washington and with the fact that, of course, Iran and its network of allies has been taking a bit of a beating in the last couple of months. Now, the only axis of resistance actor who has had much capacity to attack on their own in recent months, at least, have been the Houthis, and well, they've been reasonably quiet since December last year, but they're clearly back at it. And I mean, what we're also seeing from these attacks is, of course, that they still have the capability. So despite the intense aerial attacks by both Israel and the United States since the beginning of the year, that has not been enough to deter them from attacking merchant vessels.